Welcome to Your Perspective, a series proudly presented by Perspektif Magazine.
Hey guys, my name is Kimberly.
And I'm Andy.
And welcome to the first episode of
Your Perspektif Series by Perspektif Magazine. In this series, we'll be sharing our ideas, opinions, and perspectives on emerging world issues.
If you don't know about Perspektif Magazine, we're a biannual magazine that aims to showcase the talents of artists and writers from all around the world.
Well, to kickstart the year and this series, we would like to talk about a big issue related to Perspektif Magazine's theme for this upcoming volume, which is junk.
Junk can mean so many things, from the pile of junk in our rooms to the chaos and clutter of our emotions, but today we'll be interpreting it as fast fashion. So what do you know about fast fashion?
Well, Kimmy, according to Victoria 2021, fast fashion is the mass production of trend followers' products for astonishingly low prices. The principal aim of this industry is to meet customer demand for clothing visions coming from recent catwalks, influencers, and luxury stores through a focus on cheap and quick availability.
So fast fashion has been rapidly growing. The industry has increased from a value of 100 billion in 2022 to around 122 billion in 2023.
Wow.
Yeah, the word fast fashion was introduced back in 1989 in the New York Times when it covered Zara's opening store in New York. It was stated that it took only like 15 days for Zara garment to go from the designer into the stores, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So why is this an issue though?
Well, the culture of fast fashion focuses on constantly producing goods to keep up with the ever-changing microtrends. This fosters the culture of instant gratification and throwaways, which in turn facilitates overconsumption as more may feel the need to buy newer clothes all the time and be less intentional with their purchases. The fast fashion industry's speed and fostering of consumerism and greed also leads to deep environmental issues.
So fast fashion has contributed to about 10% of global carbon emissions and 20% of industrial water pollution. Not only that, because of the throwaway culture that fast fashion fosters, customers will buy huge quantities of clothing only to throw it away after a couple of uses, and this leads to wastage.
It's estimated that 92 million tons of fast fashion waste is created every year. And as we know, the fast fashion garments are mostly made from cheap synthetic textiles. This material is not biodegradable and takes up to 200 years to decompose, which leads to the piling of clothing junks in our landfills.
Other than that, the production of synthetic fiber itself also raises environmental and health concerns because it contains a lot of chemicals, right? So these do not stop after the production process, but it also continues in the maintenance process because clothing made out of synthetic fibers contributes to pollution, and this is known as the microfiber problem.
So what is this microfiber problem? The microfiber problem is basically the problem that arises during the washing of clothes made from these synthetic fibers. Clothing made from synthetic fibers can produce up to 700,000 microfibers in a single wash, which is very bad.
Microfibers are basically any tiny strands of plastic that are not biodegradable and has become piling junks that plague our ocean. According to the IUCN, which is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, 35% of microplastic pollution in the ocean comes from washing synthetic fibers.
Well, does fast fashion only contribute to environmental issues? Well, sadly, fast fashion also contributes to the problem of unethical labor.
So the rapid fashion trend cycle has caused corporations to engage in understatedly unethical labor practices. The fast fashion industry reportedly employs 75 million factory workers worldwide, but only less than 2% of them make a living wage, and the remaining population lives below poverty line. And that's just in order for these companies to produce profit.
One example of this baffling case is Shein, in which you probably know According to Bloomberg, Shein, the clothing giant, is valued at $100 billion. But how does this clothing giant gain such high profitability? It's not only just through the use of cheap materials, it's usually also through the use of unethical labor practices.
Much of the clothing sold on their website is produced in factories in China, and it was shockingly reported that 75 hours per week and pay per item policies were a norm in Shein factories in Guangzhou, and only getting 1 day off per month without an employment contract or even a labor provision.
This violates the Chinese labor laws, which according to them, a working week can only cover a maximum of 40 hours with 1 day off per week minimum. And well, this example sadly is just the tip of the iceberg.
So what is the conclusion in our episode today? Are we saying that we should stop purchasing from fast fashion companies altogether?
Well, definitely not. Although it would be amazing if we all could, just be more mindful in terms of making our purchases and to maybe stop buying blindly just to follow microtrends.
Well, I guess if you really want to purchase trendy items, you're definitely allowed to do so, as long as you're sure that you're using them more than just a couple of times.
Perhaps one alternative is to go to thrift stores rather than fast fashion websites. And you can check out our reel for thrift store recommendations, which I highly recommend because I like them too, in Melbourne, which will be linked down below.
So I guess that's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoy our review and learn something more new.
Also, comment down below what you want us to talk with, what you want your perspective to discuss about in our upcoming episode.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.